Okay guys, good evening YouTube and welcome to the latest live stream from the FPL family. My name is Lee, this is Sam. This is episode 44? 44 of the FPL family. This is just going to be, we're just going to do this for a few weeks for a laugh. Week 44, this is awesome. And this is our game week 29 preview, so there's only like 10 game weeks left. They're coming thick and fast.
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Have you got your plan for game week 31?
Yeah, you know I have.
I know you've got your plan, absolutely know you've got your plan. So good evening guys, thank you for joining. I'm not quite sure how much of Sam's attention we're going to get tonight. The Spurs game is to our left, so if I'm just talking inanely at you and Sam's kind of looking through me and not really paying attention, which to be honest guys, after how many years of marriage, kind of getting used to that, to be honest. And so if you're looking through me, the Spurs game is on to our left. I don't know how that's coming across on the OBS, but...
Apologies for my glasses tonight, but I can't see the game if I don't wear them, so you're stuck with
Can you
them.
get involved with this and not worry about the game?
I'm so annoyed by this game already. Don't even get me started.
Well, I thought you were going to say I apologise in advance for any of my bad language. Now, we are hoping to get through the stream, guys, with no bad language. However... the air was very blue in here a minute or so ago because you can't do that all the time. You can't go and stop and look at the game. You've got to try and do it again. The air was very blue in here, guys, not so long ago because of you guys that are actually watching the Spurs versus Rochdale game, you'll know that actually Eric Lamela had a goal chalked off for VAR
Wrongly.
about 5 minutes ago.
Wrongly.
I honestly...
say the word, wrongly.
Definitely wrongly. I can't
Okay.
see how that's chalked off, that goal. It's absolutely incredible. It looks a stonewall goal. All the Rochdale players are like,
If anything,
all right, back to the centre.
Llorente is fouled by them. Oh, I'm so
Even
so
Bobby
annoyed.
Savage was like saying, you know, this is nowhere near. It's got to be a goal. Got to be a goal.
What happened to it's got to be a clear mistake from the ref? Is that a clear mistake from the ref? Don't think so.
I got flashbacks and
Stupid
shades
ref.
to that Liverpool game. What's that? Liverpool West Brom in the cup. That was in the last round of the cup, or maybe even the 2 rounds ago when we got knocked out. And it was VAR-tastic, wasn't it? There was just VAR after VAR. I'm hoping this is not going to come and haunt you, but I tell you what,
That's gone out.
Get the VAR. Hold on. Has it gone out for a corner?
No, it's a goal kick.
VAR, goal kick. So as you guys are watching the game, you'll see that it is absolutely coming down with snow at Wembley. It is freezing here, guys. And I know some of you guys who are living in Norway, you're living all around the world, and some of you in hot climates, some in cold climates. I can tell you right now, it's -4, -5 here today when I was commuting into London. That is cold for London. That is the coldest we've had it.
I've actually got our daughter's blanket over me.
You've got the blanket. We've both got a cup of tea. We've got the radiators on.
Oh, bring on Dubai tomorrow.
Look at the snow as well. Can you imagine? I mean, fair play to the Spurs fans going to Wembley, but what the Rochdale fans?
17 coach loads.
Oh, that is just a phenomenal effort. I mean, I
Good
know
effort,
it's a massive day out in their history to go to Wembley, so why would you not do it?
It's a long way
that is
in the snow,
and
they've had a lot more snow up there than we've had here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, touch wood, we've got away quite lightly, so hopefully we'll be all right to get away on holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, not been as bad.
Up north, it's pretty bad.
All right, guys. So welcome. Let's see who is in the live chat. There's a few of you in there already, so let's have a look. As usual, guys, we will be doing our game week 29 preview. We'll be looking at where the FPL points are going to come in game week 29. We're going to be talking about our transfers. Bit undecided on my transfer this week, by the way. Bit undecided. I haven't really got a...
Well, you better decide quickly, because as of tomorrow,
do you know
you're not going to have much time to think about it.
I'm thinking I might roll it, you know. I haven't really got a real strong desire to do it, but we'll come to that in a bit. We'll talk about our captain picks, and I think I know who my captain's going to be and who my top points pick is going to be. A certain Egyptian is looking very, very hard to ignore for the armband week in, week out between now and the end of the season. We'll talk about your jammy picks as well. We've got a few candidates for that. Before I forget, there's a poll. I've actually done a poll, guys, this week, and it's not just the same question from last time that I forgot to delete last time. Did you see that? Because some of you guys were saying on the last video, oh, you got a poll, but it was just that I'd forgotten to change the question. So genuinely, there is a poll, guys. 2 questions tonight as well. 2 questions.
Blimey, you're really pushing the boat out
This is going like, this is new level FPL family. We've got 2 whole questions on our poll. The first one is, who are you going to captain?
But have you worked out how to read the poll?
Oh, have I? No, I have not. So we'll still need your phone at the end of it. I'm sure it's easy to work out. I still haven't figured out. Who's going to be your captain for game week 29? That's the first question in the poll. And I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, what was my second question in the poll? It's a really good one. I'm sure it's a really good one.
Hang on. So you've done a poll, but you don't even know what the question is.
It's just so annoying because I was in a really good flow there. I was thinking, yeah, I've done my poll. What's the questions? Ah, that's what it was. Shock result of the weekend. So where do we think the shock result of the weekend is going to be? Now, what I've done is I've put some options in there, as you can see. So of those 4 options in the poll, guys, on the shock result of the weekend, where do you think the random result is going to be? Where's the random FPL points? Where are the differentials potentially for FPL? Are Newcastle going to win at Anfield? Not happening. United lose at Palace, Arsenal lose at the Amex, or West Brom win at Watford?
To be fair, I'll take all of them. They're all brilliant results for Spurs.
Well, they're all good results for Spurs. I mean, West Brom winning at Watford might not necessarily be a shock result, but West Brom winning anything now at the minute they are looking terrible.
Poor old West Brom.
So West Brom win at Watford, in my opinion, would actually be quite a shock result.
They could win the lottery, hasn't they?
Arsenal losing at the Amex, that's the possibility. But listen, guys, there's 4 options there. Select your favourite one. As usual, we'll get to the end of the vlog. I'll forget about the poll, so somebody say a poll in the live stream, and then I'll remember it. So get voting on that. Let's see what you guys think and who your captain is going to be for the game week. That window's just changed now, so I bet that's just changing that OBS. 2 seconds, guys. Let me scroll that down a little bit. About there, I reckon. That's probably a bit better. Right, so that's the chat sorted out. Okay, guys, let's have a look at the chat. Let's see who is in this evening. So, Peter Gray is here. Peter, thank you for joining. Vinyl Richie's here. Leo's here. Andy Golf Pro. Not seen you for a few weeks, Andy. Welcome back. Good to see you.
How cold is it where you are, Leo?
I think he might have said that before, actually, up here.
Has he?
Say it in a sec. Jeff's here. Thanks for joining, Jeff. Andrew Yee is here. How you doing, Andrew? FPL Boss. Thank you for joining, FPL Boss. El Stato's here. Evening in-laws, he says. Thank you for joining, FPL Stato. Rishabha's here. Vinyl Richie, I think we've said loads to already, so if we haven't,
no, he's got
evening, Richard. He's not on the VR again, is he? Not more VR. Oh, wow. Matt's is here. James Brady's here. All the in-laws are here. This is good to see. Good to see. Michelle's here. How you doing, Michelle? She says, Sam rocking the glasses.
Oh, sorry about that.
What do you think of the glasses,
No,
Michelle?
don't
I like the glasses.
No.
I'm cool with the glasses.
They're all,
I like them.
No. Well, I don't normally wear them. I only have to have them for distances, you see. But if I don't wear them, then I can't really see what's going on the TV.
Michelle also says, has Sam got her tea and a Spurs mug? Yes, she has. That is there. It's here today, the Spurs mug. Dave Smith is here. Thanks for joining, Dave. Let me see how I pronounce that. M-C-L-E-Y, Muckley. Sorry if I've said that wrong, Muckley. He says it's 82 degrees down here in sunny Florida, South Florida.
God, wish I was in Florida.
Get a few viewers from Florida, don't we, to be fair?
I love Florida. That is the one place in the world where I would happily move.
Love it. Luke Walkinshaw's here. Thanks for joining, Luke. Cy Greggs is here. Kieran Rogers is here. Thanks for joining, Kieran. And a whole host of you guys. So thank you for joining. And also a big thank you to you guys for... hold on a minute. Let's scroll this chat down. Here we go. Ricardo Pagan says, thumbs up on the glasses. There you go. Get a bit of love for the glasses on the live chat. That's good stuff. And a big thank you to you guys that have joined the FPL Regulars stream. Put my brain in today. Is that I'm already... Oh, he scored? Okay. So that's quite a subdued reaction for a Spurs goal for Sam, by the way. Who is it?
Oh, Sonny.
Son. Hold on, get the VAR, hold on.
If the VAR...
Yeah, hold on. Is he gone to his ear? No! He's gone to his ear! I can't believe it.
No, seriously, this ref.
He's just taking the mick now, hasn't he? He's taking the mick. Well, while we see what the outcome
Honestly,
of the VAR is.
If another goal... What could possibly be wrong with this one?
What? It shoots from there.
He's taking the mick, isn't he?
There's nothing wrong with that.
What is possibly
that's
wrong
a goal,
with this
right?
one?
That's a goal. You can't... So anyway, he's going to be out. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. No need for the score updates. Yeah, you're all right. You guys are probably watching.
I hope nobody's watching a bit behind because you'll get spoilers.
Well, quite possibly. Yeah, you'll get the Sam celebrations. What? Just do that one again for us. How did it go?
No, I can't do it, and it's only what happens live.
So thank you guys for joining the FPL Family live stream regulars league. So I set up a league. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do it. I actually didn't think when we started this we would get many people in the FPL Family league. Turns out there's like, I don't know, 400 people or something in there. Yeah, it's massively, it's huge.
Goodness.
I'm 252nd. This is a bit embarrassing, to be honest. So I'm way down in the FPL Family. But what I thought would be good to do, I was kind of looking through that league thinking, how many of these people do I regularly know in the stream? And I could pick out a few names, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we were all the regulars, the in-laws, if you like, from that Jeff's coined. Why don't we get our own league?
In-laws. It's just what you should have called that.
I should have called the league the in-laws, actually, yeah. But let's have a look who is in there. And for you guys that aren't in there already...
This is the league you just told me to join?
Yeah, you should be in it. Yeah, you should be in it. So all of you guys that are already in it, thank you. If you're not already and you're a regular to the stream, go and find us at FPL Family on Twitter. Send me a message on there. I can DM you. We can follow each other or whatever. And I can send you the code for the league. So let me just show you who's in, because we've got pretty much... most of you guys that I've seen tonight. So let's see in here, and if I go to it's my wonderful team, leagues, and here we go, FPL Family live stream regular. So a whole host of people in there. So
wow.
Matt's, Mike, Leo, El Stato's in there, Rishba's in there, James, Dom, Rich, Ian, Felix, Spencer, Simon, Andrew, Josh, Chris, Peter Gray, JC, a whole host of people. So that'd be quite cool, guys. I thought that'd be quite a cool thing. He's not in his ear again, is he? He's in the VAR again.
Honestly, this ref's it's VAR crazy.
Oh, that's surely for a penalty, is it not? So you might be getting a penalty out of this.
Well, yeah, but he's VAR mental. Like, I never known a ref like it.
I knew this was a bad idea to do the stream during the game. I knew this was a bad idea.
I did tell you to do it during the second half, when hopefully the game would be...
You'd still want to watch it, I'm sure. I'm sure you still want to watch it.
No, come on, we're all right. We're winning now, so we're okay. We'll move on.
You're 1-0 up. It's in the bag. It's done. Right, guys, let's crack on with this game week. So let me find the fixtures for this game week. Have you done some analysis? You've written down who's on TV and who's not on TV this game week?
I've written down who's on TV.
All right, excellent.
There's 5 games on TV this week, just in case anybody wants to know.
Good, all right. 5 on TV, is there?
Yeah, there's a Monday night game.
Okay.
And you're going to miss Liverpool on TV on Saturday, because we'll be away.
Well, yeah, I was going to say not that we'll be able to watch it probably, but we shall see. So where do you want to start this game week? There's some tasty-looking fixtures in this game week. There's actually a few... battles at the bottom potentially, where teams that it's so tight at the bottom half of the league right now. 3 points makes all the difference. So,
and obviously we are going to talk about Arsenal and City, but obviously they haven't come through their Thursday night game yet.
So from your perspective, and this was something that I think Andy from the Scouts put out on Twitter earlier today. Would you guys prefer for it to be called off or not called off, the Arsenal-Man City game? I would actually prefer for it to be called off. Because I've only got Sterling to play. A bunch of people around me have got KDB and Otamendi or several Man City assets. All right, I get my 2 Miljovic points off the bench, which hardly makes a dent in my game week rank. But a lot of people around me have got more Man City assets, so I'd actually welcome that being called off tomorrow. I assume you wouldn't, because you've got KDB.
Well, I've got KDB and Sterling. Because obviously Ibe didn't play.
Yeah.
So the Sterling thing. Sorry, I'm just going to watch this penalty. So the Sterling.
Oh, he did give a penalty, did he? Okay.
So Sterling, obviously, if he doesn't play...
Here he goes. Go on, Son.
Whee!
Easy. 2-0, game over. We can
I can focus now.
Turn the channel off.
Yeah, so... obviously, if Sterling doesn't play, then I've got Alonso coming on for 1, but I will have a blank if... Is he booked him?
Stop watching the game. Stop watching the game.
What is wrong with this ref? Is he making...
He's going to book Lamella for encroaching.
He's making take it again.
Well, there are 3 of them inside the box. He's got to take it again. Of course he has.
Right. Let's focus on this.
It's a bad idea.
So, what was I talking about? So, Sterling. So, yeah, I think I'd rather the game was played.
Sorry, go on.
I think I'd rather the game was played. But...
It's going to be a shambles tonight, guys. I can already feel it.
I'd only rather...
More so than usual, to be honest. Go on.
I'd only rather the game was played if Sterling plays. So if Sterling's not fit...
Well, he's been pictured in training. I think he's going to be back. I think he's going to play tomorrow night if he does. You're going to save him for the weekend? He's going to save him for Chelsea at home? Maybe, but I don't know. I think he's...
If Sterling and KDB are going to play, then I want the game on Thursday night. I mean, it's all to do with the weather we're talking about. At the moment down here, it's okay. We're not that far from Arsenal, and it's fine.
But I think it's tonight and tomorrow morning the snow is supposed to really come down, isn't it?
Well, it's just after we get on the plane, yeah. So it's supposed to come at lunchtime tomorrow. So I think we could end up with a fair amount tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, let's see. Okay,
and Cy Greggs is making the point in the live chat that actually, if that game is postponed, could it be played in game week 31? Now I heard this. This is an interesting theory, right? So it's already, if it's off on Thursday, then what actually happens to that game? Where does it get played? And if it gets put in game week 31, that completely changes the dynamic of 31. All these plans that we keep pulling together to fill our teams with Stoke and Bournemouth and uninspirational picks from Watford and Everton.
Well, you suddenly want 3 City, don't you?
Suddenly you want some City and some Arsenal, don't you? So it could be very, very interesting to see what happens with that game.
I mean, what is going on in this game?
I don't know. There's a lot of VAR.
Oh, it's very annoying. Right, so from
Jeff
that
has
point
put
of
in the
view-
live chat in capitals, "Hello Sam, we are here."
Hello, sorry, Jeff.
And Jamal has said, "Sam, can you say hello to me?" And he's got a sad
Hi,
face.
Jamal.
He's got a sad face because you're watching the football.
No, he's got a sad face because I actually didn't think you told me he was here, because if you tell me Jamal was here, I always say hello.
See, you guys were saying, I think, either on the last one or the one before that you should do a live stream when Spurs are on. You get Sam's reactions.
You don't want
Not
me
a good idea, guys.
Honestly, you
Not a good
you
idea.
don't want me during the Spurs game. I'm totally useless for anything if Spurs are on. However, having said that, I think we should start this week. Well, why don't we start with talking about Arsenal and City then, in terms of their next fixtures, because obviously City
and Chelsea. What do you make of that? Because that's obviously the key game to look at this
I
weekend.
think so. So City go to Chelsea after this game that may or may not happen on tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening, yeah.
City, I think. What do I think?
Si put lol favouritism. You got to say hello to everybody now. Go on then.
I've lost my train of thought.
City and Chelsea.
So City and Chelsea, they've scored now!
OMG, Rochdale just scored.
Oh, God.
No, they haven't. Hold on. No, they haven't. He's having a look at the VAR. This ref's VAR mental. He's VAR and everything. He's VAR in it. Let's have a look. Is he off? Oh my God, he's miles offside. Oh no, but he's not going to him. It's gone to him. That's a goal, isn't it?
Well, I've just moved the camera, kicked it.
Could you not do that?
Sorry.
Well, okay. We'll just. That's
There
it.
we go.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. So 1-0 in that game. So can we please talk about Chelsea versus Man City?
What do I think will happen in that game? It's a really tough one, because actually on the back of the United game at the weekend, I thought Chelsea played well in that game.
You think Chelsea are going to park the bus against City?
Can you park the bus against City?
I think you can. I mean, City have got absolutely got.
Successfully for 90 minutes?
Listen, City have got the players to break them down. I don't know. I've not been impressed with Chelsea recently defensively.
No,
although I think Christensen makes a big difference when he does play, and if he plays at the weekend, then I'd expect him to make a difference. But listen, Chelsea have got the players that can, on the day, decide the tie. But going to Etihad is an altogether different proposition. I think City will have too much for them.
I think so too. I think City can. Chelsea can try and park the bus at City, but I don't think it's possible to do it. I think
they're not a bus park like United. Mourinho, he's got a double-decker, treble-decker, steel-reinforced bus, hasn't he? London bus. Whereas Chelsea, they could try parking the bus, but they're not really a part of the bus team, are they?
No. I think City will have too much for Chelsea in that game. I think City will win the game, but I do think both sides will score, which leaves me with a never-ending quandary about what to do with Alonso. Because if he continues to blank in terms of movement forward, goals, assists, what have you, then I actually don't want to play him, because I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet. So I just don't want him to get 2 or get booked and get 1 or something ridiculous. So it is a bit of a quandary with what to do with him again this game week.
Well, I think if you kept him for last game week for the United game, you kind of sticking with him, aren't you? I think a lot of the community, a lot of you guys on the chat are sort of sticking with Alonso because he can produce stuff going forward as well, right?
Yes,
I
did keep him for the last game week. However, I benched him, didn't I? Because I didn't feel that he would keep a clean sheet. I didn't see any attacking points coming out of him in that game. I sort of feel the same this game week. However, last game week I kept him because I did the Otamendi one instead.
Yeah.
This one I'm planning to hold my transfer, I think, so he'll be staying again. I think I am gonna play him this game week, because I think
you have to. You can't have a £7 million defender stinking up your bench for weeks.
No,
you've
you
got to play
can't.
Alonso if you've got him, right?
I think this game week I will play him, because I think City, as good as they are going forwards, they are also not that great at the back. So there is opportunities there, more so than there was against United.
Okay. I look at Chelsea's position in the league. I look at the defeat to United, and I think, well, I think they've almost got to go to the Etihad and try and get something. They've got to.
I think so.
I mean, I think they're a couple of points now behind Spurs. Spurs have got a nice fixture at the weekend. We're going to come to that later on.
Yeah.
Liverpool, nice fixture. Arsenal actually got a tricky game away at Brighton, but even Arsenal kind of flaking off a little bit now. So it's kind of Chelsea are. I don't say they're the outsiders because it's Chelsea, but they're the ones pushing to get into the top 4. They're not in the prime positions right now.
No, they've lost that.
They've got to go to the Etihad and try and get something before the blank game week. So And we know that's a dangerous tactic, and we know Chelsea are bad for conceding goals. One of you guys in the live chat has just said that Chelsea's defensive record right now is second only to West Brom.
Well, and this is
conceding goals left, right, and centre.
And this is exactly my issue with Alonso. Is that yes, absolutely, and everyone I spoke to about this last week, you're totally right. Alonso's attacking points are there for all to see. You know, he can get forward, he gets into very dangerous positions, and he can get assist points, goal points, the works, but. Fundamentally, he's taking one of my defensive spots in my team. I want him to get 6 points every week. I want to play defenders who I think are going to get defensive points.
So Otamendi, you're going to play Otamendi
No,
this game?
No, because I got rid of him.
Oh, he's gone. Okay. What about your other Man City players, KDB and Sterling?
Absolutely.
You've got to play those guys,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And so this is part of my issue is that I'm going to play KDB and Sterling against him. So you kind of find yourself thinking,
One of those games, isn't it, where you kind of feel like you need to have some of them. I mean, I'm back in City. I'm going to play Sterling, clearly.
Of course.
If I was going to bring any players in, if I was going to do a transfer this game, which I'm not sure I'm going to do, but if I was going to, I don't think it would be for either a Man City or a Chelsea player.
No.
Given that neither of them play 31, that's not attractive. This fixture is not attractive because it doesn't feel like you can predict where the FPL points are going to come. So
no.
It's going to be a tricky game. But I'm going to go home win. You think I home win?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay. Let's go next to the other game in the Super Sunday, which is Brighton versus Arsenal. Now, as we just mentioned, Arsenal starting to look a bit, more than a bit shaky for that outside... the outside chance of top four. I mean, they are way outside that top four. I think they're gone. It's hard to back them right now, isn't it? It's very hard to back them. The performance in the Carabao Cup was under par, to say the least, under par from Arsenal. We talked about that on the last vlog, so let's not go much into it. On the flip side, Brighton actually don't look too bad at home. I mean, their form is okay. I think they've got no defeat in 5 or something at home for Brighton, so they're not looking too bad at home. Glenn Murray's looking reasonably confident. We picked up on a couple of their assets on the last vlog. I mentioned Izquierdo. Is he from Brighton? Yes, he is, isn't he? Izquierdo. And they've got the threat from the back from the likes of Duffy, who had a good chance in the last game.
Yeah.
So he's going to be one of my jammy picks to throw into your jammy pick pot, if you like, for this game week, is Izquierdo. I like the look of this guy. And I might be getting this wrong, but won't he be attacking Monreal's side? And isn't Monreal injured?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's out. I don't know. But Arsenal's defensive line is flaky at the best of times, let alone when they're missing a player like Monreal. So, for me, I quite fancy Brighton at home to Arsenal. I do. I think Arsenal's away form is bad.
I mean, really, we shouldn't be sitting there saying we fancy Brighton against Arsenal, should we? No offence, Brighton fans, but really, Arsenal should be able to beat Brighton. However, having watched them on Sunday in that cup final, I think you're right. I just... So
Leo's saying Brighton to win 4-1. I'm not sure about that.
Wow.
I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, but I'm not going to go for a 4-1.
I think, having watched the way that Arsenal performed on Sunday, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Brighton get something from that game. I don't know if they'll win the game, but can I see them getting a point out of that game? Absolutely.
Yeah, I can.
Would I like Brighton to win the game? Absolutely.
Well, of course, yeah.
But also, I think...
Would Brighton winning it kill Arsenal off for top 4?
To be honest, I think Arsenal already killed off. I think the only one... It's between... Okay. I think now it's between United, Spurs, Liverpool and Chelsea for those... Well, the final 3 spots. And whichever one of them doesn't get it will get 5th. I don't think Arsenal are even in contention for 5th anymore, to be honest.
The only thing I will say is that at some stage, the Aubameyang thing has got to ignite, right? I mean,
or Wenger gets fired.
Yeah, but you look at Brighton's defence, and those guys, for all of their physical ability and their win the aerial duels and stuff, they don't exactly turn on the sixpence. Those guys, do they? Duffy and people like that. So, and Lewis Dunk, loves an OG, doesn't he?
Does love an OG.
So that defence seems tailor-made for Aubameyang.
Yeah.
You'd feel like Brighton will fancy it against Arsenal. You feel like they're at home. They've got to go for it a little bit.
I think so.
And that could leave a bit of space in behind for the likes of Aubameyang and Ozil and people like that. But Arsenal are depleted, especially at the back, not looking good. So I think there's goals in that game. And I actually fancy Brighton to get something from it. I'm with you. So my jammy pick to throw into your pot, you decide at the end who your jammy pick is, but I quite fancy Izquierdo in that game. I think he passed the eye test for me last couple of games.
Okay.
So
he's not my jammy pick.
Plus, I just like saying his name.
Yeah,
he's got a cool name.
I think you're a bit obsessed with him.
Izquierdo. So if Izquierdo gets fouled by Aubameyang and passes to Mkhitaryan, there's some quality names, isn't there? Quality names. And who's the other geezer that's name I always get wrong for Brighton? Locadia. I always get that wrong as well. So yeah, lots of great names in that game. So let's move on to.
Let's go to Liverpool, I think, next.
Yeah, we're kind of working backwards, aren't we? But let's go to Liverpool versus Newcastle. I mean.
Well, I think you've got to talk about where the fantasy points are, and for me at the moment, if you're talking about fantasy points, you look no further than Liverpool, particularly with your attacking qualities that you have. I mean, Salah is just unbelievable at the moment.
But where's the differentials though? Because we can talk about Liverpool till the cows come home, but the world's got Salah and the world's got Firmino. The only way there are differentials if you captain
them, right? And so but then is Salah even a differential as captain now? I'm not sure he is. Because I think a lot of people have suddenly looked at this guy and gone, do you know what? Week in, week out, you're getting the points.
I think he's becoming less of a differential as a captain, but he still is a different. He still is, because you've still got. And by the way, I think it's between the two, isn't it? I think it's between Salah and Kane now. And I was reading some stats on FF Scout, so most of you guys will probably use FF Scout. A lot of people, sticking the armband on one or two of those, either Salah or Kane.
I think so.
And the guys on the website made the case for Salah between now and the end of the season, unless it's a double game week.
Yeah.
If you've got Kane a double game week, you want to do that, or you've got somebody else in double game week, you'd want to maybe put the armband on them. But if you all being equal, Salah between now and the end of the game week looks like a surefire bet. He bangs against the big teams, he bangs against the little teams, he doesn't care who he's playing, he's creative, he's in the top 10 for assists, as well as, I think top 1 or 2 for goals scored. So, Kane, absolutely goal threat, and he can get you that hat-trick out of nowhere. But Salah will just get you a goal and assist every game without even trying.
I think for me, the Salah and Firmino really are becoming borderline, Salah is, Firmino's borderline essential in the game at the moment.
What about Mane as an option?
So what's really interesting about Liverpool then is who you get for third, because I think realistically the way that game week 31 is at the moment, the only team that you really want to load up on are Liverpool, unless of course City and United gets called off tomorrow night, and then it changes again. But at the moment it's 3 Liverpool all day long. So you really have a choice then between, do you go for 3 attacking Liverpool players? So do you go Salah and Firmino and then get Mane, or do you get a Liverpool defensive option, either Robertson or I nearly call him Van der Vaart then. That's not right. I know.
Do it every week.
Or Van Dijk.
Or Karius.
Yeah. Now, for me, Karius is a non-option because it's a Liverpool keeper and he's prone to a mistake. But also, he's not going to get you any attacking returns.
For the same money, you can have Robertson pretty much, can't you? And Robertson looks great going forward.
And he's going to go forward. And like we talked about in the last vlog, Van Dijk has the statistics to back up something coming from him at some stage over the next couple of game weeks.
In actual fact, in the first goal that we scored in the 4-1 win against West Ham in the last game week, and actually throughout the game you could see that they were trying to target Van Dijk for the corners. Actually on that first goal, I know Chan wins the header, but Van Dijk is very close to getting on the end of that. And actually Chan said in his post-match interview that it was a lucky goal. And what he means by that was, it just evaded Van Dijk and almost kind of
fell on him.
Apologetically hit Chan on the head, and he did well to kind of guide it in. But you can see that they fancy finding Van Dijk from those set pieces. So I think there's a goal coming. However, we've said it before, I think Robertson is also a very, very good option. Looked very attacking. There's assists there all day long from him. So if you do get the clean sheet cancelled out as we did against West Ham, and that's always the threat with Liverpool, right?
Absolutely.
Always the threat. Can score goals till the cows come home. But there's always a threat of one going in.
I think so.
I think since Van Dijk's been in, my personal opinion as a Liverpool fan is I think we look less panicked. So I've said this to you before, haven't I? In the last 10 minutes of games, you get to Liverpool and it's 1 or 2-0 up, and we start panicking.
There.
There's a bit more control, a bit more calm. I think he's really brought that into the game. And
I also think that without Moreno, there's less of a.
Don't talk about him.
But with Robertson he's much more solid than Moreno was. So you've replaced one calamity with somebody who's looking like a good defensive option, and then stuck a player who's a real leader next to him. So actually, the whole line is kind of shored up a bit.
And he's put a bit of faith in Karius, which helps, right? Yeah. So that's all good. So we're shoring up at the back. So I think having a Liverpool defensive asset is good. If you've got Van Dijk right now, would you switch to Robertson? It feels a bit sideways to me. I think there's a goal coming for Van Dijk. If you really need to save that money to invest it somewhere, then potentially. But I think Van Dijk's a good option. Having the three up top, the Salah and Firmino and Mane.
Is there a risk of rotation with Mane?
I don't think so. We're out the cup, and I can't.
The Champions League though, but although you are
we're through, aren't we? Pretty much. You know, without being too complacent, I think we are.
I think so.
So I don't think that there's much of a risk of rotation until 32, when most of you guys, not me, but most of you guys, including you, will be playing your wild card. So I don't think there's going to be.
Oh my God! They hit the post.
This is going to be epic. This game. Oh, this is going to be like a whitewash Spurs game.
It really is a whitewash because of the snow, but.
So I think the Liverpool triple up in attack is, in my opinion, a bit of a risky one, because Newcastle, they've shown. I mean, when they beat United the other week, I appreciate they were at Newcastle then, and I think they were. Yeah, they didn't win at Old Trafford, did they?
No.
They know that they can go and shut up shop. They've got a pretty decent bus that they can park when they want to, Newcastle. Now, do I expect us to beat them at the weekend? Yes, I do.
And obviously Rafa coming back, and that has
there's a bit of sentimentality there, yeah. I will be captaining Salah at the weekend. I will be playing Firmino and Van Dijk. I think we'll do all right against Newcastle. But in my head, I would not want to go into that game with those three at the front, because if Newcastle have a good, they put the bus and we win 1-0, you're suddenly having a bad game week, can't you? You need Liverpool to win 3 or 4-0 if you want points from all those players.
This is always my worry with having three of a team. It's why I never like to do this, and I've only done it, to be honest, because of 31. I wouldn't have got Van Dijk if Liverpool weren't the only decent team playing in game week 31. So for me, this is something I really don't enjoy, having three, because you watch a game and you feel really stressed while you watch it, because that if something doesn't come out of that game, suddenly you're 3 players down.
Yeah, and when it's actually saying the bus parking teams are getting hammered at Anfield now, and I think that's a decent viewpoint actually. I think Liverpool are getting much better at breaking those sides down. And we're being more patient in our build up. So I like that, Hammond. Yeah, I don't. It's one of those. The 3 for Liverpool up top. It's not for me, but I can understand why people are going
Whatever happens, Liverpool should win that game. Yeah. And so captaining Salah seems a sensible decision.
Okay, let's move on, because we've spoken a lot about Liverpool there. Let's talk about. Let's have a quick word on Watford versus West Brom. I don't want to go too crazy on this, but West Brom are so bad right now. I mean, I don't know what's going on at the club. Let's not labour it, because we talked about it in the last vlog. You've got the taxi incident. You've got the players not really playing for the manager, it appears. If you speak to some of the West Brom fans that I speak to on Twitter, there ain't a lot of love going around for Pardew at all. So, plus they've had all what's been going on behind the scenes with the chairman and the CEO and all those guys kind of leaving. So they feel like a club that's preparing for the Championship, in my opinion. They feel like that. Having said that, they've got some very decent players out there. Johnny Evans and Gibbs and people like that, and Craig Dawson. These are not bad players. Tongue in cheek, but Rondon is not a bad player, right? And they did have Sturridge. Who knows when he's going to come back?
Legend.
Yeah,
Rondon is a legend.
They've got Chris Brunt and players like these are good players, right? So it's just Pardew that can't get the best out of them. But can he get the best out of them at Watford? I'm not convinced. And I don't think Watford are playing out of their skins, but. And Delafeu's injured, I think, for that game.
Yeah, but Watford have been better of late. They've not been. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not Watford like they were when we were talking about Richarlison, however many game weeks ago that was now.
Yeah.
But Watford have improved over the last few weeks.
What's your view on Troy Deeney for that game? So, who is it? Andy Golf Pro saying Troy Deeney hat-trick incoming for that game.
Well,
hat-trick incoming. That's strong words.
Troy Deeney, to give away the end game, is my jammy pick for this week.
Jammy pick alert, okay.
Jammy pick alert.
Troy Deeney's your jammy pick.
He is,
right,
because
owned by
0.5% of the game.
That is differential.
Because I look at this game and West Brom they're a team in. I mean, they're like the Titanic, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're just going down very slowly. But I think Watford will look at that game and go at home to. Let's be frank, the worst team in the league at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
We should be winning that game comfortably.
He's got penalties as well, isn't he, Deeney? So that always helps.
Yeah.
He scored the last game in a bit of form. That always helps.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's a Watford win. I think, like I say, Troy Deeney is my jammy pick. Having said all of this, I will be playing Foster because I have no choice because I still haven't dealt with my other keeping option yet.
So we've got Elliot knocking about.
Well, yeah, because I'm waiting for my wild card to sort him out.
Right. Okay.
Because I actually want Foster for 31 because he'll play. So yeah.
So you're going to hold on to him.
So I'm holding on for then, and
So
then I'm going to deal with both of them.
I quite like Deeney as a shout there. 0.5 owned, 6.3 in the game. So he's in that kind of Callum Wilson-y sort of bracket, isn't he? So do they play 31? Yes, they do. Watford, don't they? They do play 31. So yes. Okay. So let's have a look at the fixtures for Watford between now and 31. Should we be considering Deeney? Let's have a look. Watford, West Brom, and then Arsenal away. The 31 game is Liverpool away. So even though they do play, it's tough. And then actually it gets a bit better for 32, 33. It's not.
I'm not
making me jump at Deeney, but
no, I'm not saying that we should all, jump on a Watford bandwagon. But I think there's points there for Deeney this week if we, because I think Watford will win that game.
Other Watford assets to keep an eye on. Delafeo's injured, right? But the usual Decore.
Richarlison and those
Richarlison's off though, isn't he? He's not. He's not done it for a while. He's knackered, the poor kid, isn't he? He's come off the back of a full Brazilian season, gone straight into a full Premier League season. He's worked his nuts off because he was a bit of a grafter, wasn't he? To be fair,
yeah,
he wasn't
absolutely.
one of these South Americans that comes along bowling into the league and messing about. He was putting graft in. I think he's just burnt out, to be honest.
I think so too.
So I'm not sure about him as an option. Although we know he's got a bit of FPL pedigree from the beginning of the season. The one I want to point out is Mariappa at the back. So Mariappa has got something like 4.9% ownership, so just about squeaks into jammy pick territory. So he's going to be one I put into the pot. He's 4.1, so like uber cheap. And with Watford playing at home to West Brom, you'd like to think there's a clean sheet there. His attacking stats didn't look too bad, actually, last couple of games. He's looked all right going forward. So Mariappa, one to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, you can
one for the jammy pick pot, if you don't mind.
You can put him in the pot.
Okay. So Watford, home win against West Brom. I think that is more or less nailed on. Let's talk about your game at the weekend. So Spurs have got home to Huddersfield. Despite Huddersfield beating West Brom last time out, I still, I think we go home win for that game.
Well, look, and again, apologies to any West Brom fans that are listening. I don't mean this offensively because I actually do like West Brom. But anybody that plays West Brom can beat West Brom. It's no surprise that Huddersfield beat them last week. Can Huddersfield come to Spurs and get something? I don't think so.
Do you think Huddersfield have looked a bit better in recent times, though? Do you think? Let's not write them off.
No.
I mean, at the minute we're drawing with Rochdale, so I'm not going to.
You're going to be in a very confined space with me tomorrow for a very, very long time.
I'm a 2-year-old. Yeah, I know.
So don't wind me up. Look, I'm not saying that Huddersfield can't score in that game. I don't trust the Spurs defence as far as I can chuck them at the minute, particularly if Vertonghen is still. It sounds as though he's not fit from what Poch was saying before this game. It sounds as though Toby's not fit from what he was saying before this game. So
who plays at centre half for you at home at Huddersfield at the weekend?
Well, it'll be what we did against Palace at the weekend, won't it? Well, he'll play Sanchez. He'll play.
Oh, Sanchez, I forgot. Yeah,
Foyth maybe, but he's playing tonight.
Yeah.
He'll fiddle around and he'll
Dyer's
sort it
back
out.
there tonight, isn't he?
I should imagine that it will be Trippier rather than Aurier because Aurier looked dire against Palace.
Well, Trippier's playing tonight though, so.
But he's playing tonight. Rose is playing tonight instead of Davis, which should mean that Davis, for the fancy owners who've got Davis, it should mean we see Davis at the weekend because he's getting a rest tonight. I think. As far as I'm concerned, it should be a Spurs victory. If somebody said something anti-Spurs, I don't want to know.
It is quite anti-Spurs, yeah. People say, so Coot FPL is saying, load up on Spurs players for game week 31. He's looking for a Rochdale win tonight.
Are you joking?
Can you imagine if that actually happened? I mean, it would solve the problem of game week 31. But let's not even go there. Let's not even fathom it. I can see from the look on your face that you are outraged. Coot FPL, who is a new name to the stream actually, so we should welcome Coot and welcome his opinion and give him anything that he wants to say that's anti-Spurs. This is an open forum, Coot, so you're more than welcome to say things like that. Just be careful.
Gracious me.
Just be careful that that you might get a bit of a backlash from yourself.
Excuse me, I'm a lady. I don't do backlash.
Go on then, home win. I don't think we need to talk too much more about that.
I think the only thing to say is the captain element obviously comes into play there because.
So let's do this now. Who are you captain this game week? We've talked about Salah. Are you going Kane?
I'm going Kane, yeah.
So I want to put it out there that Kane is a good choice for captains this game week. You've got the Juve game during the week. Do you think there's a risk that if you're a couple of goals up against Huddersfield, he brings Kane off, rests him for the Juve game?
Yes.
Think that's a risk?
But if we're a couple of goals up, who do you think scored those goals?
Well, potentially. But then if you want to captain him, he's got maybe one of those goals or none of those goals.
Sorry. As far as I can tell, and he's getting a rest tonight. He's not playing tonight. We will see him tonight if we're not winning this game.
That's true. I think you will. Yeah, I think he will come on.
But hopefully the ref stops being an absolute plonker and going to VAR all the time, and we win this game and we don't see Kane tonight. He gets a nice little rest until Saturday. It's a long time from Saturday till the middle of next week.
Yeah,
I think we see Kane. We have to win these games.
Yeah.
So it's got to the point where we have nicely positioned ourselves now in the top 4 with games against Chelsea coming up. We can easily move ourselves. Move ourselves more stably into the top 4, and I think we need to win these games, and therefore we play our best team. We'll see Kane.
A quick shout out to Joe Finley Badder on the stream. Joe, thank you for joining. He's saying, and he's a Watford fan by the way, so just going to quickly go back to Watford. Lives in Hemel Hempstead, do you know that?
Literally down the road.
Yeah, literally round the corner from us. So he's saying Firmino is a certain starter when he's 100% fit, so possibly, and he possibly could be right mid now that Deulofeu is injured. That's a nice bit of insight.
Sorry, who's he talking about?
Kiko Firmino.
Okay.
So we've been talking about Mariappa as the possible choice for Watford. If you're going to go Watford defence, some tricky fixture. I mean, West Brom nice, but Arsenal away, Liverpool away tricky. But Joe there, a bit of inside knowledge from someone that actually watches Watford week in, week out. With Deulofeu injured, Kiko Firmino could be pushed up in the midfield, so keep an eye on that. That's a really good one. What I would say is if you're gonna take a bit of a punt on Kiko, you want it this game week, don't you, against West Brom really?
Yes.
You don't really want to watch him in that game and think, he plays right mid now, and then get him in and it's Arsenal Liverpool way.
You don't.
So if you're gonna go for a little bit of a punt, maybe it's this game week that's the one to do it in. But thank you for that, Joe. It's good, great insight.
I'm going to see Spurs Watford in a couple of weeks. So.
Are you?
Yeah.
When's that? End of April, isn't it?
It's the one that I just asked you if you could come home early and sit with the kids.
Oh, right, yeah. That's not the end of April. We've got a little bit of time, haven't we?
Yeah, but that will come around thick and fast.
I'm glad you clarified what you just said there. Thick and fast. Okay. So, Watford we've covered. Spurs, home win against Huddersfield. Southampton versus Stoke. Where's your money in Southampton versus Stoke?
Can I bank on neither of them?
No, I get off the fence because I see there being only one winner in that game.
What? Because Stoke are that bad, it's got to be Southampton?
Well, yeah, Stoke are terrible away from home. They cannot hit I was going to say donkey's backside with a banjo. That's I haven't used that phrase for a long time. They're terrible, Stoke. Despite the fact that they're getting some decent results with Shaqiri's doing well, etc. But Southampton, I picked up, there was a nice tweet that I retweeted just before we came on air, actually. So you guys that are following us at FPLFamily on Twitter, go and have a check this out. In actual fact, we'll do it live. Forgot for a moment, we've got this technology, we should use it. Let's have a look. I found it here because I want to give some kudos to the guy that put it out there. Where is it? Here it is. So here's the tweet from FPL Kernow. So if you are on Twitter, go and follow FPL Kernow. Here is his...
Really?
Yeah, so here's his handle. So go and check him out. Got some cool little tables here about...
I do love a table.
Love a spreadsheet. Love a colour spreadsheet.
That's the teacher in me.
So there's some cool stats in there from FPL Kernow. But the one that I wanted to bring to your attention was... Oh man, come on, stop jumping around. Here we go. So Stoke have given away the most corners in the Premier League this season, 198. Southampton have won the fifth most corners, 168. Plenty of set-piece opportunities for James Ward-Prowse. So we've mentioned him before on previous vlogs as a jammy pick.
Have.
He was another one I was going to chuck into the jammy pick pot.
Goodness me, you're the jammy pick pot.
Actually done some preparation for this, you know.
Well,
you're busy packing for the holiday.
I'm just down here doing FPL. And who's done no packing for the holiday, and who's just sat here and looked at FPL all week.
Absolutely nothing I've done filming. So there is a nice...
What he doesn't know is I packed none of his clothes.
Yeah, it's going like this. So I liked James Ward-Prowse as a bit of an out there pick. I was looking at his total ownership, 3.5%, 5.1 in the game, so he's a nice cheapie. But then I started thinking about, well, if they've got all these corners and James Ward-Prowse is hitting them, so
it's quite wasteful, surely, bonus point of view.
Well, what I was going to say was, well, who's on the end of those corners? Well, Stevens has been great from corners recently for Southampton, so he might be a decent jammy pick. They've got Hoot. They've got the new guy Carrillo, who I've seen, passes the eye test in terms of getting on the end of things.
Is Gabbiadini going to play?
I don't know. I think he's out of favour, Gabbiadini. I know he scored last game, but he didn't start, did he? I don't think so. I don't think they fancy him massively down at Southampton. So for me, I think that's a really nice shout there from FPL Kerno. Yes, set piece delivery from James Ward-Prowse, but who's on the end of it? Stevens, nice jammy pick. Carrillo, nice jammy pick. So have a look at Southampton. Let's not rule Stoke out, by the way. Their away form is pretty woeful, and they've got the big man, Big Shaq, who seems to be delivering. Well, it's interesting because you mentioned you've got a problem with goalkeepers. I've got Ben Foster as a problem. I don't want to play Foster this game week, or indeed ever at all, potentially.
But you did probably do it there.
But my other game week is, my other goalkeeper is McCarthy for Southampton. So I quite fancy Southampton to get a clean sheet against Stoke. So if I fancy that, can I play Shaqiri? I don't know if I can. I probably can't.
Well, you're having the same quandary as me with Alonso and KDB and Sterling then, aren't you?
Yes, it is. It is a bit like that. I mean, I've also got Bauer. I don't know if I fancy Bauer in that game either. Stoke's away form is bad. I do need to think about that. But I fancy, if I've got to pick between McCarthy and Foster, it's McCarthy in goal. And I might just hedge my bets by playing Shaqiri because he's in form. Okay. But nevertheless, I think that's a Southampton win. I think more away day misery for Stoke.
Okay,
let's rattle through the last few games. We've got 10 minutes to go, guys. Let's have a look at what else we've got here. So Swansea, West Ham. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that. Is there much to talk about in that game?
Arnautovic, probably. That's it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've missed out on the? Do you think we've missed the Arnautovic boat, or now that he's back, we can get back on him?
Yeah, I think you've still got time to get back on him.
I think we can. Let's have a look at the West Ham fixtures. They've got a blank, haven't they? So Swansea, Burnley, blank, Southampton, Chelsea. So again, for those of us, and we talked about this last vlog, if you haven't got the wild card and you can't sort out all the dross that's in your team from 31, like me, having a fixture like Southampton away in 32 is nice, but then obviously doesn't play 31. So it's difficult. But yeah, so Coot FPL is saying Swans defence. Yeah, it's looking better, aren't they? Recently, looking a bit more resilient.
Swansea have looked a lot better lately. Credit where credit's due, they have looked better. I've got Jordan Ayew still. I'm not. Do I play him? I don't think I'm going to play him this game week.
Okay.
I think I've got better options out there.
Let's have a look at the form. So Swansea and the form, overall form, despite losing 4-1 to Brighton, which we all know about from last game week, actually, we're right. They were starting to look good in terms of form. So, yeah, I'm not getting mega excited about that Swansea and West Ham game in terms of FPL points, but it'd be a good one to have a look at. I want to scout on Arnautovic. I want to, scout maybe a couple of the Swansea defenders. So I might be looking at that. I'm not thinking I want to transfer any of those in right now.
No.
Burnley versus Everton is kind of interesting. Everton, again, sticky patch to say the least, and we keep going back to this thing that we mentioned the other week about Big Sam and this comment about I want to nick it 1-0 and I want to be defensive. Not inspiring me to get on any of their assets. The one thing that I will say is that I think Walcott is going to be pretty. For those people that are playing their free hit chip in 31, you're probably going to have an Everton midfielder. It's probably going to be Siggy or Walcott. So it's kind of making me feel like I might want one of those two guys for my game week 31. But they could easily blank, and then the fixtures after that don't look great. So if you're free hitting 31 and then wildcard in 32, I can see you want an Everton midfielder. If you're not going to do that like me, I'm going to free hit later on in the season. 35. I haven't got my wild card. I'm not really want to get on Everton right now. Not really.
I just think that Burnley, it's a really tough place to go. Really tough place to go. And Burnley have been all season. They've been really hard to break down at home. And I don't see Everton that good away from home.
No.
I don't see that. I don't see Everton being that attacking.
Okay. Less said about that game a bit. I don't think there's a lot to talk about.
I think I'm going to play Ben Mee.
Yeah, I'm absolutely playing Ben Mee. Yeah, absolutely. Let's finish up before we talk about transfers and captain picks, which I think we've kind of discussed, but we'll maybe just review it. The Monday night game, Monday the 5th of March, is Palace versus Manchester United. So what do you make of that game? Palace are looking pretty bad at the minute. They're struggling for results. United, obviously, off the back of the Chelsea result, going to be buoyed by that. So is that a straightforward away win, or do you think Palace could maybe put up a bit of resilience there?
Monday night, at home.
In the snow.
In the snow. No, Stoke should be
Will,
gone by
will,
Monday.
will the big United players like the Pogbas and the Sanches, will they fancy
They don't
that?
want to play in the snow at Palace,
Will
do
they
they?
fancy that?
No.
That's a valid point. I'm making
No,
it.
I agree
valid
with you.
point.
They don't want to play in the snow at Palace, do they? No, of course they don't.
This is it.
God, I'd love it if Palace got something out of that game. I'd love that.
I can't see it. I think I don't think Palace are in great form. I think United will win that game, but there's just a piece of me that says, if that was a Saturday 3:00 game, I don't think you'd really question it. And if it was middle of the summer, I don't think you'd question it. But I just think at the minute there's something not quite right in the United camp with Pogba. I think he's a bit annoyed with Sanchez coming in and earning twice as much money.
You would be.
Yeah, maybe he would be, but his agent's sort of throwing mud around and stuff, and I'm not. Despite a very good result against Chelsea, it's not.
It's not hard to get up for a game against Chelsea, though, is it?
It's not, but they played very well against Chelsea, and they did a job on them. I don't know, away in the cold, Palace Monday night. Let's see. But I would back United to do that. I haven't got really many assets in that game from an FPL perspective. I've got Jones still. I don't know whether.
Have.
I mean, would I play him if he's fit? Yeah, probably, but. Not inspiring me really, and I'm not. I'm off of Sanchez now because I've got Eriksen in, which I'm pretty happy about. He got me the assist. That's a good point. You play Miljovic in that game.
I'm not.
You're not? I'm kind of tempted to. I'm kind of tempted to. There's always a risk of a penalty, right?
Well, at the moment I'm not.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see.
I don't know. I think I'd rather play Sterling.
Let's see. Some of you guys on the live chat are making some really good points about the fact that over this weekend, we're talking about all these games that it could easily get called off a lot of these games.
Right. Yeah, and this is a really, really good point because, like we've been saying here, actually we've got no snow at all where we are. But in Spurs, there's quite a lot. As you further you get into London, there's been more. Up north, there is a lot.
Well, Dom J is saying, so Dom is our resident weather expert this evening. Thank you, Dom. So he's saying weather's getting warmer on Saturday in the south, so pick players from the south. And he says that, with a lull and a tongue-in-cheek.
It's true.
There's something to be said for that.
It's true.
And even from a captain perspective, I don't think I would put the captain's armband on, say, well, first of all, I wouldn't put it on Salah and vice Firmino, because if the Liverpool game gets called off for whatever reason, then you're buggered, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd also put it on two teams that play in the northwest. So if it was, I don't know, who's playing Liverpool at home, who else is up there? Man City, for example. So would I have Salah captain, Sterling vice? No, possibly not, because the weather up there is going to likely be the same. I think by doing Salah captain, Kane vice captain, or vice versa, you're kind of covering yourself for any potential snow risks, if you like.
Yeah, because the snow down south is supposed to hit Thursday, Friday, and by Saturday it's supposed to have warmed up enough that it's rain. So in which case the southern game should be on. Anything in this part of the country should be fine. So London fixtures, Spurs game, Palace on Monday night, that should be okay. The Brighton game should be fine. But it is worth considering that when you're thinking about your team. If you've got a lot of northern, because it's not necessarily the grounds themselves. The grounds themselves will be fine. It's going to be the transport and the road surrounding the grounds.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about. We've got about 5 minutes left, and we've got to do polls. I've remembered to do the polls. And I might even be able to do it on my own phone. While I'm looking at that, I'd like to hear about your transfers for this game week, and I'd like to hear about your captains and jammy picks. Although I think we've done the latter two.
Yeah, so let's start with those then, because it's easy. Captain pick for this week will be Kane. I just feel like Spurs against Huddersfield, there's not a better game to captain Kane. So yeah, there we are. Jammy pick for the week, Troy Deeney. I just feel like Watford will beat West Brom. And I think he's looking really positive at the moment.
I think that's a good shout because not only a West Brom bad, but he's. So I hate Troy Deeney. I think he's a nasty piece of work, Troy Deeney. But he's that sort of guy. He'll just smell blood. He'll smell that West Brom are in dire straits and so. Oh, Lorente, nice. That's the sort of start you want for the second half, isn't it? That's the sort of start you want. So I think he will smell blood. I think Watford will too, and I like that as a jammy pick. Very good, very good.
And in terms of transfers this week, as per my planning for 31, I'm holding this week.
Okay.
So I'll have 2 transfers for next game week. I just felt that there's some fixtures that I didn't want to lose players for this game week. So I'm going to hold off until next week and then make 2.
So some of the guys are saying, so Jamal is saying, hey Jamal, he's saying, Sam always captains Kane. MU Fan TV is saying, picking Kane over Salah, who faces Newcastle, is a big risk. What do you think? Think it's a risk for Kane this game week? Huddersfield at home. I think if you're going to pay 13 million of your treasured FPL pennies on a player like Kane, and you're not going to captain him at home to Huddersfield, when the hell are you going to captain him?
Well, so for me, because this game week, I absolutely agree with everything that everybody's saying. I agree with what you said earlier. It's coming down to a choice. It's a straight choice game in, game out, really, week in, week out. It's Kane, it's Salah, it's one or the other. I just feel like Huddersfield will concede. They will concede against us. And if we concede against us, it's likely to be Kane.
Okay.
Newcastle, sometimes the sides that turn up are not, you get a Newcastle like the Newcastle that turned up against United, who can hold a team out.
Okay.
With Liverpool, it can also be Firmino. It can also be Mane.
Yeah,
it's not always going to be Salah. So for me, I just kind of feel like this week, Huddersfield is an easier game than Newcastle. Okay. So I'm going Spurs. Right, so I'm going Kane.
So Amulet is saying Van La Parra as a jammy pick. So Van La Parra plays at the back for Huddersfield, if I'm not mistaken. So he's obviously fancying a clean sheet. He's obviously fancying a clean sheet.
You and I have fallen out before, Amulet. Don't want to fall out at me again.
And Joey's saying, how can you hate Deeney's beautiful face? Joe, seriously, you can hate Deeney's beautiful face over and over again.
I can't believe he only lives down the road.
Yeah, so Joe was one of the guys that was saying, can I be part of the Regulars League? Of course, Joe joins us every week, so of course he can. He looked at his Twitter page, Hemel Hempstead.
Amazing, we're down the road.
Down the road.
20 minutes. Nothing.
So, Jamal's saying Van La Parra is an attacking midfielder. Right, so I've got that wrong. But do you fancy Huddersfield to score against you?
Anyone
make the shift defence.
Anyone can score against us. I don't trust Spurs. Anyone can score against us, but we can just score more.
All right. So in terms of my outlook for the weekend, I think I too am going to save it. I don't feel like there's a pressing need to do anything in my team. Let's just bring it up for 2 seconds, and you guys can tell me what you think. But I don't really feel like I've got to do something. I don't feel like there's anything to fix there per se. Sterling not playing is a bit of a bummer, but I think he's back in training now. He's been pictured back in training. I think I'd plan. I'd probably lose a few quid on him if I got him out. And he does get goals at the end of the day. I do fancy him as an FPL asset. So I don't think there's anything I really want or need to do. Let me have a look at my team, because I would have put some guys on the bench here. So right now, benching Bauer, Jones, and Miljovic. So we just mentioned the fact that I might play Millie. So I don't think the team's looking that bad. So I think all in all, probably going to hold my transfer. If I was going to get somebody out, it might be Sterling for somebody, because no 31 for Man City. They've got to play Chelsea. Maybe, but then I've no Man City. That makes me feel a bit nervous. So I think I'm going to stick. Captain is Salah all day long. I think Kane, is a good choice. Kane.
So this is really interesting for me then, because you got Kane in last game week.
Yeah.
Over Aguero.
Yeah.
But you've not captained him.
No. Salah is a freak. He can score against anybody. Doesn't matter whether it's a small team or a big team. Doesn't matter whether it's home or away. He scores goals. And not only that, two things that give him a massive advantage, in my opinion, over Kane. One is you get more points as a midfielder, not just the extra point for a clean sheet, but you get more points for the goals.
That's true.
The other thing is that he is far more creative than Kane. So Kane will get goals. 100% all day long goals. How many assists has Kane got this year? I think 1 or 2. How many has Salah got? I think Amanit mentioned before. He's got 10. No one's even noticed. He's got up to 10 assists. They keep talking about how many goals he's got. 10 assists, this guy. So he's got the potential for goals and assists. Neither of them seem to want to grab the bonus points by the scruff of the neck, do they? It's odd, isn't it? Because they both get so many chances, and they seem to miss a lot. Certainly last game week.
Yeah, absolutely. Last game week was a nightmare.
But if either one of them gets a couple of goals, and they're pretty much now for the bonus points. So I think the bonus points will be largely shared. I just think Salah is a freak of FPL. We're looking at a guy here that I think, I'm looking at Liverpool's running. I think he's going to, break possibly, all-time records of FPL. Right, he's going to score more points than anyone. He just looks phenomenal. So, absolutely for me, Captain Salah. Let's have a look at what you
I
guys
think
are
it's
saying.
a sensible decision, by the way. I don't disagree.
Vice captain Kane, by the way, but captain Salah. Let's have a look at the polls. Unsurprisingly, 69% saying Kane. No, sorry, that would be surprising. 69% saying Salah. 30% saying Kane. No one saying Firmino, Aguero, or Vardy. So no one fancies a bit of a punt. No one's fancying a differential. I think that just backs up our feeling before that it's one of those two for the
I think
It's
so.
got to be, isn't it?
I think so.
Shock result of the weekend. Not many people going for a Newcastle win at Anfield. That's good.
It's 3.
That's 3. That'll be game over now. That snow is really coming down, isn't it? I'm
Do you
really
know,
worried about this.
I was just looking at it thinking maybe we should have gone and stayed the night before at the airport.
It's not looking good, is it? So that's the Spurs game, you would think, done and dusted. Shock result of the weekend. No one's fancying
It's not white outside.
Newcastle to win at Anfield, or not many of you are, 8%. United to lose at Palace, 16%. West Brom to win at Watford, 25%. Arsenal to lose at Brighton. Arsenal to lose at the Amex, 50%. So half of you guys saying that Arsenal are in for a tricky game against Brighton. I'm with you. That's going to be the shock, I think. Arsenal to be well and truly out the fourth place race by the end of the weekend.
Well, Arsenal fans,
I think I'll go with that.
I mean, there's a lot of bitterness, isn't there, in the Arsenal camp at the moment. Fans aren't on board after what happened at the weekend.
Yeah.
Brighton feeling positive. Brighton have got nothing to lose in that game. No one expects them to win that game, really. Go out there.
Oh, I don't know about nothing to lose. They've got everything to lose. They need the points as much as the
that's-
bottom half of the table.
But that's kind of what I mean. Like they got. There's no reason why they won't go out and give them a game. They're not going to be scared of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So why not? Why not?
Okay, Brighton beating Arsenal wouldn't be a shock. Dom J is saying, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. A lot of talk about Pritchard on the stream as well. I quite like him. He's passed the eye test for me last couple of game weeks actually, so not a bad little differential shout. Guys, we are going to leave you guys to it. We're going to watch the rest of this Spurs game, which I think is a bit of a foregone conclusion now. I'm just hoping it's
And panic about the weather.
not going to snow quite as much. Hopefully that's going to cease over the next. Well, overnight, hopefully, because we've got to get a flight pretty early tomorrow out to Dubai, haven't we? So, guys, we are going to try and do one of these streams while we're away. We're going to see what the Wi-Fi is like while we're out there. We are definitely going to still be on Twitter and YouTube. So we're going to Twitter and Instagram. So if you're not checking us out on there, at FPLFamily on Twitter and at FPLFamily on Instagram. So we're going to be around on there for a bit. If we don't see you, then the next time, if we don't see you while we're away, then we're back on the Mother's Day on Mothering Sunday, right? So we back. Could we do a stream that day? Or are we back quite late? When's the flight?
No, we can get back in the afternoon.
Get back in the afternoon. So we could feasibly do it, although we wouldn't maybe have caught everything that's gone on that Sunday. We'll have possibly not a lot of FPL
Depends
knowledge.
how much you missed us.
Yeah, it might not be that much knowledge and insight going on, so it'll be quite like a usual stream, to be honest.
I don't know if that game week... Yeah, just normal nonsense.
Normal stream.
I don't know if that game week continues. Let's just check. If that game week continues into Monday.
What, next game week? I can have a look at that on here.
Well, I can tell you from here.
Let's see, let's have a race.
Yes, Monday night. There's Monday night, Stoke and City.
Yeah,
so we could potentially
12th.
maybe come on March the 12th will be our next one if we miss.
We could do that. And we'll be looking more tanned, and we'll be looking healthy, and we'll be looking rested, and
will we?
I won't have bags under my eyes and stuff. I won't have a stuffy nose like I've had for the last 2 vlogs.
Well, I don't know. You'll have dealt with the kids like I do every day, but for 2 weeks.
Oh, actually, it's not a holiday, is it? It's not a holiday looking after them.
It's not just you and me.
It's not a holiday.
We've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old with us.
Right, guys, we're going to say. I was going to say adios. It's not Spanish, is it? In Dubai, what do they say in Dubai? I've got no idea.
Goodbye.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks, inshallah. That's what they say, don't they?
God willing.
God willing. God willing. Right, we're going to watch the rest of the Spurs game. Thank you guys for joining us. As usual, if you like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We had a bit of a splurge on subscribers in the last few days. We're up to 843.
Are we?
I think so. Yeah, something like that. So,
well, thank you very much.
I haven't got the tab up, so I'm not going to look at it. But I think we're sort of up into the 840s. So thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, because once we get to 1,000 subs, I feel like we would have passed a bit of a milestone there. That's a psychological milestone to get to 1,000 subs.
Well, bearing in mind that we only started this because we was a bit of a let-off.
Yeah, so to get to 1,000 subscribers would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Pretty intense. Right, guys, we're going to love you and leave you. Good luck in game week 29 this weekend. Good luck for those of you that have got Arsenal and Man City assets tomorrow night. Let's hope the game goes ahead. I'm looking at the snow at Wembley right now and thinking it's at risk, that Arsenal game. I think that's seriously at risk. But let's see. I think the pitch will be fine. It's the infrastructure, isn't it? It's what goes on around. So
the
for
trains
me, I
and
think
stuff
it's
are
at
okay
risk.
at the moment. It just depends on how heavy the snow comes in tomorrow.
Well, let's see.
We'll see.
It'd be very interesting to see what happens to that game if it gets postponed. If that goes into game week 31, it puts the proverbial cat amongst some proverbial pigeons, doesn't it? We can rip up all our game week 31 plans that we've been planning for and looking ahead to for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we can start piling in on Man City.
I did absolutely the wrong thing by keeping Alonso getting rid of Otamendi.
Well, who knew? Who knew what carnage and chaos the beast from the east was going to deliver over the next few days? Who could predict that? Who could predict? Well, the Met Office actually could predict that. But who could predict? Weeks. Who could predict what FPL catastrophes the beast was going to give us? So, guys, thank you for joining. Hit that like and subscribe button. We will see you after our holiday. If not, we will see you on Twitter and Instagram over the next couple of weeks. Yeah. See you then. Thanks for joining.
Guys, take care. Have a great couple of weeks.